Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the sunny side. In today's video, we're going to be talking about and reacting to the P. Diddy trials. And let's just say this guy is a Marvel supervillain in the worst way. It is honestly mind-boggling that it's been 30 years that he's been able to get away with all the things that he's been able to do with no one really talking about it, but out of the fear that they hold that he'll just end their career. But it's really interesting that the things he's actually being accused for are much deeper than the things that he's done. This is why he paid millions and millions for these lawyers, because they're doing everything they can to make the jury believe that Diddy shouldn't be guilty of these charges like racketeering and whatever else that they're trying to put on him. I'm pretty sure in the opening statement that one of the lawyers said, yes, he's done this, yes, he's done that, literally admitting to some of the things that are public. How are you gonna fight that the Cassie clip isn't a real thing? You know what I mean? So like their charges are so deep, and racketeering is such a wild and difficult thing to actually pin on somebody because there's so many levels to it, that they're hoping that they can make the jury think that although Diddy's a bad person, he's done all these bad things, the bad things that he's done doesn't align with racketeering. So it's a complicated thing. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. But yeah, just make sure to like and subscribe and comment below. And in the description, I have all my socials and my Twitch if you want to follow that. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello, I just wanted to give you all an actual
Hi,
update
Charlie.
on the P. Diddy trial in the midst of this flood of nonsense that's spreading around about it. Those AI videos making garbage claims like, a new key witness was called to the stand. It's David Copperfield, who dropped a bombshell about his secret MySpace page that told all. This nonsense is just going.
All that stuff is happening because you're not allowed to bring cameras into the trials. You're not allowed to have any cameras. So everyone that's reporting on it has to write it down. So it's interesting that people are making these fake videos because they can really say anything. There's no way to know until the headlines come out about it from the people that are there to actually report on it. You know what I mean? So people can make these outrageous claims, and there's nothing that the public can know about it because there's no way to really substantiate whether it's true or not. You know what I mean?
Going insano style, so I wanted to tap in here real quick.
Hold on.
I can give you a brief, real update on something very important that just happened in the trial in regards to Kid Cudi's testimony. Now, so far, there have been quite a few very powerful testimonies that are strengthening the case against him, I would say, and Kid Cudi's is the most recent and also the one that's had a lot of buzz and a lot of incorrect information about. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the lore here, the reason Kid Cudi would be called here is because he and Cassie had a relationship
back in 2011.
According to Cassie in her civil suits, when P. Diddy found out about it, he was enraged and took action against Kid Cudi. Also, there are tons and tons of claims that have multiple supporting witnesses about the physical abuse that he inflicted upon Cassie. But in regards to Kid Cudi on the stand, it was focused on what P. Diddy allegedly did to him in retaliation, finding out that he had a relationship with Cassie.
So there's an interesting part within this where when Kid Cudi was in the relationship with Cassie, he didn't know that Cassie was still doing the freak-offs with Diddy. So the defense was actually trying to use that to be like, oh, how can everything that Cassie said, all the abuse she went through, how could that be real when she actually had this relationship outside of him? You know, it's so like grimy, it's so gross to be like, oh, how can this person be experiencing abuse when they do this other thing? It's like you're trying to undermine what they fucking went through by being like, oh, it can't be that bad if she was able to go on this relationship.
So Kid Cudi went up there and started to corroborate pretty much everything. So one thing that he recalls is that he had received a phone call from Sean Combs' former assistant, Capricorn Clark. Now, Sean Combs, that's the real name of P. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Puffy Flavor Camp Headmaster, a.k.a. Bubba Baby Oil Big Boy. And this phone call that he received from Capricorn Clark was letting him know P. Diddy was inside of his house, and then Kid Cudi started driving home, called P. Diddy, and said that he sounded calm and responded that he was waiting for him to arrive so they could speak. Kid Cudi also said that Clark sounded very scared, sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Kid Cudi said ultimately no one was inside, but his dog was locked in a bathroom, whereas he normally lets his dog roam around the house freely, and some of the gifts he received from Chanel had also been opened. That's why you're seeing headlines like this.
That's the scariest thing, because he didn't go in and fuck anything up. He didn't do anything that could lead back to Diddy. Like, he didn't really, like, he opened gifts and put his dog in a washroom, which honestly, the reports that the dog was never the same after this. So it's kind of sad that, like, the dog was just too scared to be himself after this. He was too, like, shaky and stuff. It's fucked up, man. Fuck Diddy. But everything I'm saying is on my opinion. I'm just saying it out of comedy's sake.
This pop up, by the way, about P. Diddy breaking into his home and unwrapping his fucking Christmas presents. It's referring to those Chanel gifts. Anyway, apparently after unboxing those gifts, the Grinch was no longer there, but Kid Cudi told the court that he had planned on confronting and fighting P. Diddy for this, but eventually decided against it because he didn't know, like, how serious it would be, didn't know who P. Diddy was with, so he ultimately called the police and made a report instead. He then also made a mention that his dog's behavior, he claims, changed and became more jittery and on edge all the time. I found this little tidbit kind of interesting where that...
Hold on. Let's talk about this right now. The main lawyer of Puff is someone named Brian Steele. And if that sounds familiar, that's because Brian Steele also represented Young Thug. And there was an alleged tweet that Young Thug put out that said, "Damn, Kid Cudi a snitch." So it's like, the reason that Diddy was able to get away with everything he was able to get away with is because no one in the industry spoke up about it. And now you have people that are coming in to speak up about it so that this guy, this monster, could be taken down and taken under. And you're gonna stand up for the fucking monster? Like, that's a fucking L. Like, how are you really gonna stand up for this guy? Like, it's actually like, it's just gross, bro. It's just gross, man. Everything he did is just nasty, bro.
That statement about the dog is something that was actually kind of contentious here for the defense attorneys, saying that they didn't want Kid Cudi to testify about his dog being traumatized by the experience because he did not want dog lovers on the jury to be swayed. So the judge said Kid Cudi could only talk about the immediate impact on his dog, not any long-term consequences. Now, the big thing, the major thing that a lot of people remember is the claim that P. Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. So on that, Kid Cudi does say that he believes P. Diddy was behind the Molotov cocktail attack on his car in January 2012. He said he got a call from his dog sitter that his car was on fire, and that by the time he had returned home, law enforcement officers were already on the scene, and he saw a Molotov cocktail and major damage to the vehicle, and then provided a lot of photos of the damage. He also mentioned that after the car incident, the two met at a hotel in 2012 and said that Sean Combs was standing there staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. And then they discussed...
And so when he said this, everyone in the court started, like, kind of giggling when he said that because it was such a serious moment, right? But the only person that wasn't giggling and laughing was Sean Diddy Combs. Because he's clowning on you. He's clowning on you, saying that you look like a Marvel supervillain. Or everyone can picture, like, Diddy, how Diddy wanted to look and how Diddy thought he looked. But he probably looked like a fucking goober looking out the window trying to act cool. And Cudi's like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Can you imagine Diddy just with the Robin mask on looking out the fucking window? Yeah, he's so corny, bro.
Discussed the relationship he had with Cassie. We discussed pretty much the whole story about how me and Cassie first started to date, to what it was, to how it ended. He said that P. Diddy apologized for all the bullshit and it helped Kid Cudi find some peace with it. And then he also mentions that he remembered Cassie talking about relationship problems all the way back into 2010, and that when they started dating in 2011, Cassie told him that there had been physical abuse in their relationship, but didn't mention sexual abuse at the time. Another quick thing to mention is that Kid Cudi agreed with the defense that he felt he had been played by Cassie in regards to love, like their relationship there. And another thing is he mentioned that he knew P. Diddy was violent, is what he said. So overall, it was a really big testimony, and a lot of what came from this corroborated the claims from Cassie about a lot of these things.
I also want to say, like, Kid Cudi, when he was on the stand and the way that he's portrayed, seems like the opposite of Diddy. He seems like a very calm person and very, like, nurturing, caring person. And just a thoughtful guy, you know? So it makes sense why Cassie was attracted to him, because Diddy is, like, the complete opposite. He's so, like, on edge. Like, this one time, Cassie took too long in the washroom, and Diddy ended up, like, pulling her by her hair and shit. There's a lot of patterns of pulling people by their hair. It's really interesting. It's really like this dude really got away with so much that he just thought he was untouchable. So this is why I love people like 50 Cent. He's been saying for time. There's this one clip of him at a podcast talking about Diddy and why he doesn't fuck with Diddy, and it's jokes, bro.
You heard what he just said, right? Certain things didn't let it go by because it's Puff. Like, he would say stuff, and it's like, he wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway. Now you see so much that you go away.
It doesn't feel like all these years you being the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said that you're a hater. They said you're crazy.
You're do this, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting.
I fucking love 50 Cent, bro. He's funny as hell.
This is obviously a really huge testimony here, but it's far from the only one. A lot of the testimonies that we've been hearing have been very big, at least in my opinion. Even ones like this, which are here just to demonstrate a pattern of P. Diddy's conduct, I think are huge. So, hotel executive Frederick Zamora took this stand in order to talk about the internal notes that hotel staff kept regarding his behavior. So his customer profile had several notes to staff, including one that warned he always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Everyone already knows this fucking freak is the Primark of dildos and baby oil. I'm sure you've all seen the headlines. This hotel executive comes in here once again to solidify in court this pattern of conduct, like this behavior from him and how common and widespreading it is. Like, there have been a ton of big testimonies, but the reason I want to focus on Kid Cudi's is because his has become very controversial. Online, there was a big debate about him snitching and people calling him a rat.
I already said it, Charlie. Apparently, I don't know if Charlie gonna say this. I think he's gonna say it. Apparently, Kanye West posted a clip of him talking to Sean Combs, and Sean Combs being like, yo, I got 2 months until this trial. I just want to make sure that I can get out of here. They're saying that I'm doing all these things. And this dude is literally lying through his teeth. And Kanye went and posted that clip, literally defending this fuck.
Real from the front line. You know what I'm saying? It's wicked, wicked, wicked. So you be careful.
Yeah.
We can't do nothing if they, you know what I'm saying? I need you out there, you feel me?
Yeah. I hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And have some fucking fun. We're not having no fun. And then get behind the mic, have some fun, chop up them samples, get back on your LinkedIn vibe.
Yeah.
Have some fun, get back to smiling.
Yeah.
These other motherfuckers, they're wasting your time, big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Wasting
understand.
your mother.
Dude, Kanye, I used to love Kanye, but that love is being tested every single fucking week.
Young Thug had even made a tweet saying, like, damn, he's a rat, which I thought was fake. I thought that was a fake tweet. It was deleted shortly after he made it, but I was really shocked to see the response to Kid Cudi's testimony here. First of all, he was subpoenaed. Second of all, he's a fucking civilian. It's not like he's out there abiding by street code or anything. He is doing exactly what he should here, testifying against a monster. This is P fucking Diddy. He has been called the Epstein of the music industry. The evidence against this guy and all of his crimes dates back decades of overwhelming evidence and degeneracy to some of the most abhorrent crimes you could think of for a guy like
Go
this.
Charlie. Go
Like,
Charlie. Go Charlie.
like,
Go Charlie.
Testifying against P. Diddy is something people should applaud.
Yo.
I'm very surprised so many people had an issue with Kid Cudi coming out here and spilling the
people is
beans
crazy.
on Puff Daddy. It's just crazy to me. But I guess I shouldn't be that surprised because right now there is actually a very big Free Diddy movement. I shit you not. It is as pathetic as it sounds. There's a lot of people that Some of them have been paid. It has been proven that P. Diddy's associates have paid people to try and shill to like support his innocence, but there are some people that are so brain rotted and poisoned mentally that they'll get mad at the people that are bringing this evidence forward. Evidence which, by the way, you yourself can look at. There is video footage that P. Diddy himself has also acknowledged. There is so much documented evidence for his crimes for years that you can easily get access to if you want. And it's just crazy to me that anyone's having a big hoopla and making a big stink about people coming forward, corroborating that and talking about it here. Like, I think that's extremely important. I don't know why anyone would be trying to like vilify people that are doing their best to hold an absolute fucking villain, like an evil piece of shit like P. Diddy, finally hold them accountable to face justice. Now, of course, he is still going through the justice system. He is still going through the legal process, so he hasn't been found guilty or anything yet. But for people to come forward and just say things like, free Diddy, he's done absolutely nothing wrong, Kid Cudi's a piece of shit for snitching, like, that is so unhinged. That lunacy is diabolical, really. So anyway, I wanted to give you like a little update to the P. Diddy trial and where it's at. There has been so much going on with it, but the Kid Cudi one I think is probably the biggest so far. Anyway, that's really about it. So yeah.
Man, I love when Charlie gets all passionate and his voice gets all fucking high and it starts like freaking. But yeah, final thoughts on this. The trials are going to be going on for probably like 7 more weeks. So if there are any more updates or any more videos that I can react and talk about, I'll probably do that in the future. But yeah, I'm posting videos every Saturday, so please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.